where have all my seeds gone? If you're anything like me, you buy packets of seeds and there's hundreds of seeds in there, and you end up like sort of having enough that you could basically sow and a whole vegetable plot with them. But then what you find is actually by the time you finish your second row, you run out of seeds because you're sowing them too thickly, and then that means that you have to thin out. And with carrots and things like that, it's especially difficult because as soon as you sort of start thinning out carrot seeds, you're giving off that carrot smell, and the carrot root fly from miles around are honing in on your carrots in your plot. So what we're going to do today is look at a way where you can actually make sure that you get your sowing consistently, and that is to use seed tapes. Now, seed tapes are quite expensive to buy. They tend to be twice the price of a normal packet of seeds and only contain about half the amount of seeds, so at least 4 times, if not more, the cost. But there's no need to actually buy seed tapes because you can make your own. And in this video, we're going to be doing just that. So to make our seed tapes, what we're going to need is some plain flour, some water, something to stir with, bowl to mix it up with, pencil, small piece of paper, our seeds, some scissors, and some toilet roll. So the first thing we're going to do is mix up some flour and water. So not going to need too much, so just a couple of spoonfuls of flour and then add a tiny little bit of water and just mix that up. And then slowly just keep adding a little bit of water. The consistency that we're looking for here is a sort of pancake waffle mix. So not too thick, but not too runny either. Just keep adding a little bit of water each time until we get the type of mix that we're after. So this is the sort of consistency that we're after. Sort of runny, but still a little bit stodgy. So put that to one side. Next thing you'll need is some toilet roll. Now what we're after is some tissue toilet roll here. We're not after that horrible stuff that they use in schools in public toilets, which is more like akin to it's more akin to sort of greaseproof paper than it is anything else. So if it's 2-ply, you can separate that out. This stuff's actually embossed, which makes it a little bit more difficult to separate, so we won't bother doing it on this one. And then what you want to do is just cut lengthwise down the toilet roll. So we now have our 2 equal pieces of toilet roll cut lengthwise, and then what we're going to do is we're going to dab using the end of the pencil, which I find is easiest. Just going to dip that in to the mix and just dab a little bit of the mix along the bottom part of the tape. So I find just using if you've got the consistency right, just using the end of the pencil to actually dab that all along the bottom edge of the actual toilet roll. Now we've got all our dabs in place, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and on each dab we're going to put 2 or 3 carrot seeds. Just continue that along all the tapes. Put a few seeds in each one of those blobs. Just write out on your little bits of paper. These are carrot, early nonce. Just so we know what each seed tape contains. And then what we're going to do is just get a little bit more of our mix. Put that on the back of the paper. Put that in at the end. And then also just put a little bit of that flour and water glue over the top part. And that way we know what these seed tapes contain. So once you've done that, then it is just literally a case of getting the tissue paper and folding it over so you've got a double width. Just be careful at this stage just to firm that down. Just be careful when you're doing this, because obviously the tissue paper now is a tiny bit wet from the mix, so you don't want to end up tearing it. And there we go. And once it's down, just give it a little bit of a firm across, just to make sure that that is all firmed down properly. And then we do the other one, and then need to put these somewhere to dry. You can put them in the sun or in the windowsill or on the radiator, but don't leave them for too long, obviously, because what we're trying to do is dry this out. We don't want the seeds to get too hot for too long and to start to think they can germinate. So we'll finish this one off, and then we'll put them somewhere to dry, and then once they're dry we'll come back and we'll do the final step. So these strips have now had time to dry off. So what we're going to do is, making sure that the bit you've written on is face down, we're going to slowly just get these and roll them up. And then the last bit is just get the paper bit around the outside. And fitting for carrots, we've got a nice orange elastic band. Just tie that around a few times. So there we have it, our seed tapes all ready for putting in the ground. And if you like this tip, consider hitting the like button. And if you want to see more tips throughout the season, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon so you get notified of when our new videos come up. But for now, we've got our carrots done, and we're going to take those down and get those planted in a few weeks' time.